On this episode of the OG and Crab Show, the 2025 season is mercifully over, and the Pirates did even worse than we thought they would. And now we're learning that they're running it back with all our old pals. Play me a song, Crab. Welcome back to the OG and Crab Show. I'm OG. It's been a little while, but that's all right. We're back, and we've got plenty to talk about. So without further ado, here's my buddy, Crab.
We haven't been on for a while, and the reason is because there was nothing to talk about, because nothing was happening with the team. And we thought for sure, hey, this is bad. This team is 20 games under. The deadline was a disaster. No internal improvements happened. Pretty much the same old nonsense on the field level. Surely they can't possibly bring back Ben Cherington, right, OG? That can't possibly happen because, while the Pirates are very unserious, I mean, they're still one of 30 sports teams in Major League Baseball. So, no, they'll think this is, we're going to take care. They'll have to clean house, and it's going to be nothing happened. In fact, it's even worse.
With year 6. We're through year 6, and they lost more games than last year, more games than the year before that. I don't remember how many games they lost the year before that, but the point is they crested and now they're on the way back down. And we're learning today that everybody just keeps their job. We're just going to run it all back with the same GM, the same team president. And we know from this GM's history with this team, with other teams, that he's just going to run it back with the same players. So come on back, Alexander Canario. Come on back, Jack Sawinski. The gang's all here.
A G1 Bay.
Oh my God.
One freshly cooked G1 Bay for you. Can I get you maybe a Tommy Pham extension? Maybe a 3-year Tommy Pham deal?
Oh.
I mean,
Tommy Pham may have priced himself out. Tommy Pham had a hot few months there, and now, like, maybe Tommy Pham got a good long look at at his surroundings here, and he's gonna be like, thanks, but no thanks.
This is DEFCON 5. This is the worst case scenario. It can't get any worse than this. It's so stupid, and we've hit the rock bottom that I will expect the dumbest outcomes to happen from here on out. So if there is a player who has no business being signed to a deal like Tommy Pham, I'm thinking, yeah, it's in the realm of possibility they'll give him a 4-year deal, just because. Why not? So we should get to these comments because some of this stuff is mind-numbingly stupid on so many levels, and we have to talk about Noah House's article because he basically wrote 2 articles, one of which said the players hate this general manager and hate the direction and are demoralized and are underperforming as a result. And in response, the organization is like, yeah, we don't care about that. You guys can go pound salt. Here's an extension for Don Kelly.
That was going to be the big story of the day, was that article that was posted this morning in the PG about over a dozen, I think it was over a dozen players and staffers contributed input to it, some anonymously, some on the record. Some of it was stuff from earlier in the summer that was just being rolled back into, like, there's a pattern here, but like okay, so we'll get to that later. That was going to be enough for a show, but then the Pirates called
Let's do Williams.
A press conference.
Let's start with Williams.
Right. So there was a press conference. I'm going to bring up the video. This is Travis Williams speaking to the press pool, having a little scrum here.
Before we get started, okay. This is the guy who allowed an usher to beat a fan with a belt, all right, who pissed off the Clemente family, who threw away the bricks in a dumpster, and on his watch, some kid bought some underage kids bought some beer, and one dude fell out of the seats on television. This guy should have been fired, point blank, but here we go.
Very frustrating year in 2025, both on and off the field. That's not only the sentiment of Bob Nutting, but also myself and everybody else in the organization. We know we need to be better, and we will be better in 26.
What gives you the faith that Ben is the right general manager to make this team better in 26?
Well, our belief and expectation is that this team is a lot closer than our performance and our records would suggest. Our goal is to win in 26 and make the playoffs.
What?
Period, full stop. And we know that, with that in mind, we know that we need to build on the momentum that we've already built, that we already have, and moving forward. We have the best young pitching staff in all of baseball. We've got.
Hold on. I got to stop it right there.
Yeah, stop it wherever. I got a lot of thoughts. You go first.
What is that shit-eating little smirk that keeps creeping onto his face as he's talking about this stuff?
He reminds me of George Bush during the Iraq War. He was like, "You see this here shot?" And he would like do the golf swing, and he would just like smirk, like we were stupid and they were smart, and we just didn't understand.
Great
but they
comp.
understand. Oh,
Great
right.
comp.
He has the same energy that Bush had. Let me tell you, we're expecting to win. Period. Full stop. And he does the exact thing. And look at his face right now where you paused it. Look how arrogant. What a prick. This guy is he's like an absolute bootlicker. He is an avatar for everything that Nutting is right now. He's been around him for so long. He's like sucked up all that Nutting energy. Now he's like, we expect to win. Full stop. Period.
There's
That's
no
our expect
contrition
and
here
belief.
at all. This is the most tone deaf presentation. Like, at least pretend to be disappointed. He looks like he's excited. He looks like he's
we have
energized.
the best pitching staff in baseball. We have the best pitching staff in baseball, don't you know? You idiot.
What
You
was your
freaking
record?
moron. It's our belief
Oh
and
my
expectation.
This is.
We have a belief. Full stop. Period. Full stop.
I haven't watched this yet. I'm seeing this for the first time, and I'm taken aback. Let's keep going.
Great core of young position players. In addition to that, we have one of the best farm systems in baseball and the top prospect in baseball. And
We have a great core of position players.
Yeah, that's who won 71 games this year and had a historically bad offense. That's a great group of position players.
That's so great.
at the same time, we know that we need to be better. We need to do things differently this offseason. We need to make sure that we're making the changes within baseball operations to be able to provide our players with the support that they need in order to be able to perform at an optimal level. And we also know at the same time that we need to be able to acquire or build on our offense. And
What have they been doing for 6 years that they haven't been supporting? I was told in 2019 they were cracking the code of player development. Where have we been at for 6 years, my dude?
This is the same, just nothing statements over and over and over again that we hear every single year. It's that not only are they running back the roster, not only are they running back the front office, that front office that's running back that roster is running back all the same dumb stuff that they said last year, the year before. Like these, we could just play the end of year press conference from 3 years ago, and it would be this exact same. Like you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Dumb is a compliment. I would prefer dumb. This is insultingly inept. They gaslight. This is gaslighting. I trust North Korean state media to be more transparent than these assholes at this point.
we're going to do that through trades or through other, through acquisitions, trades or free agency acquisitions. And we need to be willing to do that aggressively and decisively through this offseason.
When you say that you believe you're not far away,
that is a big tell. That he comes out. Now, to be very fair, this is the most we've heard from this guy talk in any capacity since probably 2020, right? Usually he's like hiding in the background. For him to say we haven't been, aggressive in trades, indicates that all the worst reporting about Ben Cherington's front office, that they overvalue their prospects and that nobody wants to, tangle with them in a trade, is probably true and probably accurate. And he's basically saying, yeah, we been screwing around with these trades and we don't really know what we're doing because we can't pick a lane because we don't know what to do. That's, again, astounding to hear. Astounding. Now, I'm reading between the lines a little bit, but I think it's pretty obvious if you follow the team and you know the narratives of this team.
I don't remember him actually talking about baseball very much. Usually when you hear from this guy, you're hearing about the new bar stools that are out under the new scoreboard or the new jungle gym or like whatever improvements around the ballpark. Like that's his lane. He's not a baseball ops guy. But here he is talking about, almost sounding like a general manager, saying stuff about the roster, talking about acquisitions. Like, am I remembering wrong?
No, you are not remembering wrong. But technically, because this organization is so dumb, they have him slated. His job title is above Cherington's technically on the org chart. And so even though his lane is barstools and renegade dogs, on the org chart, he's supposed to, quote, oversee Ben Cherington. So this is him struggling in the deep end and drowning. It's embarrassing.
Could you understand?
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's okay. I'm saying I'd be embarrassed. If this was my employee, I'd have fired him. This is embarrassing. But then again, I have shame.
Some people would be skeptical to hear that because the record is worse this year. And yeah, there are some players that are close, but a lot of the high-ranked prospects aren't that close. What do you say to people who might, disagree with your assessment?
I think you have to look at what we have in terms of talent. Again, building off of one of the best young pitching staffs in all of baseball.
What talent? They have Paul Skeens.
I guess that's enough.
They can't hit.
They've got Bubba. They've got it's.
What that doesn't. That's not a thing. That's like this is all. Remember when Andrew McCutcheon basically called out this organization for just wish casting itself and just making shit up without a plan or a vision? This is what he was talking about. This is it. He's just repeating talking points that they put in the press releases. They have them all down. They all sat there beforehand and practiced the talking points. Bob is nowhere to be found. It's embarrassing that he's not out there. Steve Cohen, who is worth $30 billion, is on Twitter apologizing to Mets fans. The Pohlad family fired the Twins coach today and ate a shit sandwich with their general manager in tow. Like, all around baseball, it's a Black Monday, and guys are getting canned, rightfully so, and our guys are sitting here making sizzle reels about themselves, like jerking off. This is a jerk off. This is just a bunch of dudes just. I don't.
And the guy who's not here, the guy who's not present in this, the guy who's hiding behind the curtain, I mean, he's the reason for all of it. He's like, we're talking about Bob, like he is the feckless coward who is just incapable of leading.
Because he can't read the room. He's got no social skills. The man probably, he can't even button his shirt correctly, let alone lead a team of crack secret agents over enemy lines. I mean, go ahead, play the rest of this fucking thing.
But we knew we fell short offensively. We had an historically bad offensive year, but those are things that can be course corrected, and we believe that we have the ability to do that this offseason. We've given ourselves the flexibility of the trade deadline in terms of payroll, and we believe that we have the ability to go out and add, and we have pitching depth that we can use in order to turn that into hitting depth.
You've one of the lowest payrolls in all of baseball. How much do you feel like you've actually provided the resources for this to be a winning organization?
We have sufficient resources to be able to go out and build a team that can make the playoffs in 2026. It's not a resource issue now. We just need to go out and execute.
So when you say sufficient,
it's not a resource issue, and they're also not going to, like, I don't know if it comes up here. He probably doesn't come out and say it, but it's been reported a bunch of places today. The payroll's not going up. So whatever resources they think they have, it's the same resources they had last year, minus whatever it would have cost to pay Key Brian Hayes. Like, I don't know if his was going up next year. I can't remember, but
my question about this part of it is, are they talking about resources? Because I think the question is, are you going to spend money? And I think Williams is being a little like car salesman here. And he's saying, in his mind, he's thinking, well, we spent the money and we have the resources from that money. Now, you, me, the reporter, Colin Beasley, whoever's down there, Joe from Blawnox who's watching this fucking thing, we're all thinking player payroll. Okay, they're thinking, well, we bought the Traject machines and we have the R&D guy working on the new iPad software because we got to catch ourselves up to what the Blue Jays are doing. So those are the resources. So he's smug and arrogant because they have spent a bunch of money on resources, and he won't admit to what we all want. Just say you're not getting fired, Travis. You have nothing to lose. Just say it. We're not doing it.
I mean, that's where the grin is coming from, right? Is because he found out before this press conference, he's giddy because he didn't get fired. Like, he thought he was getting fired today, and when he woke up in the morning, and then he found out, I'm not getting fired. I'm over the moon. And so, like, he can't hide his glee when he's here fielding questions from angry reporters.
Yeah, he thinks we're stupid because we just don't understand. We haven't squinted hard enough. We just don't have Sarah Gallus and Voltmer who, are there to feed us reams of data about swing decisions. So we can't possibly understand, what really happens. We just look at Fangraphs. We're idiots. We pay these fucking people's salaries. Without us, there is no product. The players and the fans pay for all of this crap. The players create the value. We pay for the value. Without the symbiosis of these two things interacting in a dialectic, none of you don't exist, Travis Williams. You don't exist, Ben Cherington. We make you exist. But we're just, you know what? Baby, Travis, gaslight me harder. That's my kink.
We are so clipping that one.
Just give it to me harder, baby. Go ahead, play the rest because it gets worse.
Here we go.
Major League payroll increase this year?
We're not going to speak to payroll. We never have in the past, but we have the resources sufficient to be able to win and make the playoffs in 2026.
How do you define that being sufficient? What quantifies that?
Again, I'm not going to speak to quantification of payroll. There's lots of things that go into making sure that you'll be able to be successful in a season. That includes taking from a position of strength, pitching, and being able to turn that into hitting. There's opportunities there. It's not just a matter of what you're adding in terms of payroll and free agency acquisitions. But there's lots of ways you can do that. And in addition to that, we need to be able to make the changes inside of baseball operations to continue to improve and allow our players to continue to improve at the major league level and have success at the major league level.
There's your tell. He just said what you just said.
I declare winning. It's like Michael Scott yelling, I declare bankruptcy. That's what he's doing here. He's just declaring that we're going to get better. We're going to make a big trade. Newsflash, buddy. Another team has got to want to trade you something that you. What if the Tigers, or I don't know, just pick a team, OG. I don't care.
Boston.
Pick a team. Boston. What if they see this situation and they go, we're not giving you that guy. Sorry, the price went up.
Did you notice right there where he made sure to mention exactly what you just brought up, that the question was specifically about payroll, and he immediately pivoted to baseball ops resources, just change the subject. We're talking about not money. We're not talking about money. We're talking about anything but money. He did
players
exactly
are talking
what you
about
just
money.
described.
Noah House reported that the players feel like they're playing to up to what a $90 million team looks like, or an $85 million team, whatever the number is, that they can't get any better than this. There's no magic bullet that's going to make them hit doubles at a prodigious rate. It just doesn't. You can't make this happen. And so he's sitting there like a deer in the headlights because in his mind, well, that trade's got to happen. We've said it would happen. So how can that not happen? We're expecting a big trade to happen. I mean, it's hard to be, you know, I'm making fun and I'm being hyper, but it's really hard to swallow this pill because these people, I'm going to go off on a tangent. You ever have that feeling of like, oh, am I the only one who doesn't know what they're doing? Do I really fit in around here? Imposter syndrome. You ever have imposter syndrome in your life? I mean, I've had it, right? Every once in a while I have it. Do you have it?
I've had it at times. Yeah. You're doing something new. You're doing, you know, you're not sure you've got the chops for what you're there for.
I want you and I want the audience to, when you have that feeling, think of Travis Williams and know that no matter you flub that solo, you miss the line in the play, your painting looks like dog shit, you laid the concrete foundation for the footer of the house and it's crooked, you'll never be as bad as Travis Williams. He is truly faking it to make it every day. He is literally I think there's commenters on the message boards throughout the internet that have a greater sense of the marketplace in baseball and greater sense of what it would take to actually make one of these gigantic roster altering trades than the president of baseball operations for the Pirates does. That's my sense.
Let's keep going.
On the note, you're saying it's sufficient. The past records would show that they're insufficient. You haven't won a division since 1992. So how do you say that it's sufficient?
Feel confident that it's sufficient to be able to be successful and make the playoffs in 2026.
Okay.
Travis, specifically with Ben, what?
He's got the most punchable fucking face. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished, Colin. Or Noah, whoever it was, asked that question.
That was Noah.
Mission
That was
accomplished.
definitely Noah.
You little twerp. That's what he's thinking right now. You fucking twerp. How dare you ask me that question in PNC Park, the greatest ballpark in America? You come here and ask me a question about 1992. I'll tell you about 1992. Don Kelly will tell you he's from Mount Lebanon. He saw 92, so don't get in here and give me some 92 talk. It's sufficient. We're sufficient. We declared winning. It's going to happen. We declared a trade. So back off, Noah. That's his energy right now.
The word of the day is sufficient.
What are the traits that you like about him or tells you that he's the guy going forward?
I think
remains the guy going forward.
Well, again, I think given where this team is at this point in time, the strengths that we have in terms of our pitching staff, the young core position players that we have, and what we have in terms of our farm system coming up, we felt at the end of the day that making a change as a general manager would set us back. That's not what our fans expect. That's not what we expect. We're looking in 2026 to make the playoffs, period, full stop.
He just said that the fans do not expect them to change general managers.
We do. We expected it. We were betting on it. We were hoping for it.
I think that's probably the one most unifying, galvanizing theme among all the fans that we talk to is you can disagree on whether or not Jared Triolo is actually good. You can disagree on all kinds of things when it comes to baseball, and that's why it's fun to talk about. Everybody agrees that it's time for this GM to go. And he's trying to tell us that I can't even talk about it. It's galling.
I'm going to read a definition to the audience. I'm going to ask you to name it. It'll be like Jeopardy. The phenomenon whereby a person is reluctant to abandon a strategy or course of action because they have invested heavily in it, even when it is clear that abandonment would be more beneficial. OG?
What is sunk cost fallacy?
You've got the daily double. That is, I mean, it is, this is it. If you want to teach a course in leadership, you want to go to a college and you want to teach the student body about what not to do in business and what not to do in academia, what not to do in sports, what not to do in entertainment, what not to do in Fortune 500 companies. You play this clip. You play this clip. And this smug, small man, he's small and arrogant and way over his head. I would feel, I could call him names and but he's over his head. He's out of his depth. And it's on display. He's the emperor with no clothes. It's embarrassing.
And so we did not want to veer from that, and we're pushing it all in and making sure that we are able to make the playoffs in 2026.
Travis, there was a lot of stuff, especially early in the year. You guys had some off the field some stuff, from the sign to the bricks, etc. Fans got upset. Fans may have lost trust in the organization. What is the organization doing to make sure that that side of the business doesn't make those errors again? And what do you say to people that might say that we just don't trust that the organization maybe has our best interests in mind?
Well, first of all, we start day in and day out with the fans first. That's always a fans first mentality. We did have some unforced errors early in this year. We owned them. We course corrected, made the adjustments that we needed to make internally and externally, fixing those mistakes that we made. And that starts with me.
Boy, do I feel better now. Boy,
there's
I'm glad
one
they wake up
mistake
with...
they didn't fix. This guy is still talking in front of a panel full of Pirates logos with cameras and microphones in front of them. That they didn't fix that.
I mean, I feel really glad as a fan to know that, man, they wake up every day thinking about me. God, that's make me feel good. I mean, and they owned it and course corrected. Oh, gee, they said the words. I mean, I am relieved. Absolutely relieved.
They were unforced errors. Those are
unforced errors.
Are those better or worse than forced errors? I can't remember.
I mean, I'm just happy that Travis is there every day serving the fans, with a mission on his mind. I mean, that's important to me. And it's more important than, look, if I have to go to PNC Park and get my ass kicked by an usher who had too many and he beats me with a belt, I can take it because I know that Travis is going to wake up tomorrow and really be thinking about me. And that's what's important. OG.
It's really on me at the end of the day, and I owned it, and the organization owns it, and we're going to make sure that doesn't happen again.
On the note of the organization, players themselves have been critical of the state of this organization. What is your response to that?
Just like our fans, our players deserve to have an organization that they can be proud of, and that gives them the opportunity to come out every day and play to the best of their ability. And as you heard Ben say earlier, and you heard me say, we're going to provide all the resources that are necessary to make sure that happens.
I don't know about you.
Here's another one.
But,
yeah, go ahead.
The comments that we've had from Kutch, like the last 4 or 5 times he's spoken to the press, sure sound like he wants nothing to do with this organization if these clowns are still running it.
God bless him. I'm rooting for him. I hope he goes somewhere else and just basically I would like to see maybe Kutch just take a Breaking Bad turn here at the end of his career because of these assholes. I would root for him. I'd be 100%. I'd go be a Brewer again and just burn this organ. Just say, yeah, they're a bunch of losers over there. I'm not interested in the Pirates anymore.
Go play for the Cubs.
Yeah. I mean, I think Yinzers would be like, oh, yeah, dude, tell us more. Here's another definition for you. I'm going to ask you if you can figure out what this one is. The quality or state of being answerable for one's actions, duties, and decisions for outcomes rather than assigning blame. OG.
What is accountability?
Ding, ding, ding. You know what my favorite kind of accountability is, OG? It's the one where nobody holds me accountable. Ever. No one above me holds me accountable. It's the one where I can say, I will do better. Yes. Tomorrow I will stop drinking all that beer. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
My favorite is when we can be accountable together.
Yeah. Well, this is how they learned from last year is they just separated them. So, they're getting better at accountable together, gaslighting.
Say make the playoffs period full stop. Next year will be Ben's 7th, your 7th. Is it fair to say that, forgive the phrase here, that you guys are sort of on the clock? It can't just be we have the potential to do X, we have the potential to do Y. That if you guys do you have the feeling that if you don't get to X or Y next year, that there will be changes that'll be beyond just sort of making a full-time manager?
Listen, I came here to win. Came here 6 years ago to win. Came from an organization that won. I know what it takes. We haven't done it yet, at the same time. I'm not thinking about whether I'm on the clock or not. I'm here every day, showing up, making sure that we do everything we can to win. Ben is doing the same, and everybody else in this organization is doing the same.
Thank you, Travis.
That's pathetic. That's a pathetic answer. It's arrogant too. Like when he said that answer in my mind, it would be like, you know, I don't have a good analogy, but it's like, I don't care where you came from. I don't care that you came here to win. Reality has changed you and the circumstances of when you came and how you came here. So now it's a matter of facing facts and facing reality and operating in those constraints. And if you know what to do, then fucking do it. You haven't done it because you can't overcome these obstacles by wish casting. It's impossible to do. And this is more of the same, OG. More limp dick, soft penis, effeminate debutante talk, to quote my favorite office manager.
The question was, are you on the clock in year 7? I mean, how many more years until you're on the clock? We're asking if they're on the clock in year 7, and I don't have a problem with the question. I mean, they should be on the clock.
No,
and then
finally, we got some hard-hitting questions from the Cub reporters at the Daily Planet.
Right on. Well, I think that's the end of the video. So let's get his ugly mug off of the screen there. It's frustrating that I'm still coming back to that smirk. Like, he is just so pleased with himself to still be employed. And that's all he's thinking about this entire time, is how can I get through this stupid press scrum that I don't want to do? How can I say the same thing 16 different ways to get rid of these people so that I can go and toast myself for having convinced Bob that all that stuff I screwed up all year long, it's water under the bridge. Don't worry about it. We'll do better next time. We'll do better in year 7.
Yeah, it's just, I can't say much more about it. We spent the entirety of this season talking about this topic. And quite frankly, almost everything that we predicted on this show came to fruition. You know, in episode 1, I was screaming that it's the same fucking team. And the players bore that out with today's reporting. You know, the media has been kind of finally catching on to the fact that Ben Cherington isn't particularly good at being a general manager in any way, shape, or form. The players also bear that out. They have to work with this guy every day. Their careers are on the line. Mine isn't. So, you know, this is a team that is just, after 20 years, they are fully an outcropping of Bob Nutting's persona at this point. Whatever vestiges there were left from, you know, whoever else stewarded the franchise are dead and gone. And now this is Bob's team. They act like Bob. They talk like Bob. They refuse to be held accountable like Bob. They're just socially inept like Bob. They are incapable of understanding the room around. I mean, let's do Cherington next, because Cherington talked, and we got to talk about Kelly's press conference, which was an equal pile of cringe.
All right. So here it's a shorter, the audio is not quite as good on this, so hopefully we can hear what he's saying, but here is
the questions
GM.
are quiet. He's loud and clear.
Yeah, you can hear him. It's just you can't necessarily hear the questions. So we'll use context clues, or maybe you have a transcript. You can clear things up if we're not sure.
Received assurances that you will be back for next season.
Yes. Then what do you guys do in this offseason? You know, last season you were in the same exact spot with offensive issues. You mostly just revamped the coaching staff, added a couple of pieces, and ended up in the same positions. How are we going to attack this differently this offseason?
Well, we'll get into the exact details of that strategy, and you never know exactly what opportunities will be there. It's clear to me we've got to improve the roster, and that certainly includes on the position player side. We have to do an even better job supporting our players player improvement, because some of the offensive improvement has to come internally.
Again, oh gee, with the
Internal
same-
improvement in year 7. He's not wrong. Knowing the limitations of this franchise, of course they're going to need internal improvements. They're not going to cut O'Neal Cruz even after that season. They're not going to find
maybe they
20
should.
homers. The O'Neal Cruz, as bad of a season as he had, he hit the most home runs of anybody on the team. They're not going to cut that.
He's got a 200 batting average. I know I don't want to sound like an old Yinzer, which I am quickly becoming, but he's at He finished the year with a 200 batting average.
He had a
It's
terrible
pathetic.
year. He had statistically the worst 20 home run, 35 steal, 2035 season. He had the worst one of those in baseball history.
Wow, great. This is what I'm saying. Like, at what point do these? Well, I can't even get mad anymore because they're here. We have to live with them. Cherington's here, so this is the reality. I have to get my head wrapped around it. But, when do they start to realize that these guys aren't going to just become superstars? That they are what they are. Cruz is what he is. Whatever that is, he is what it is at this point. And he's not the Bobby Witt Jr. prototype or something that we had wish casted him to be. So I don't understand, internal improvement. Yeah, you know who had some internal improvement from 24 to 25 statistically? I don't have the numbers directly in front of me. I can pull them up. 1 second. So here's some internal improvement for you, Ben Cherington, you piece of shit. Who finished 2024 with a 31 WRC plus? And who finished 2025 with a 41 WRC plus?
What was 2024?
31 WRC plus.
Ooh, it went up 10.
It went up
That
10. Wow,
sounds
that's
like, who is that? Is that Leo Verpagero?
No, it's Henry Davis.
Oh,
come
Henry
on down.
Davis. I didn't
Well, that's
think
an
it was
internal-
that high. When you said his WRC plus was in the 40s, I was thinking it was in the 20s.
Yeah, that's a whole 60% worse than league average.
Mhm.
And yet it is still 10% better than it was in 2024, Mr. Cherington. So, that is clearly, clearly internal improvements. If we just do 10% of WRC plus each year and internally improve that way, we might have a guy who's league average in 7 or 8 years, OG. The possibilities are endless.
Unfortunately, there's no way for this team to be successful if 7 guys don't substantially improve over what they did this season, because they're all going to be here.
Yeah, and according to Travis Williams, we just needed we have the iPads. We invested them in the iPads. We got the iPads for them, so we had to iPad them harder. We need 50 more performance coaches to drag around on road trips. Cherington is to Bob Nutting what Brian Cashman is to Ben Cherington. You like a catcher, Brian? Or you like a catcher, Ben? You got like a top 10 Yankee I got somebody for you. Come over here. He opens his jacket. Cherington's like, yeah, I like that guy. That is what he is looking to do to Bob. He's thinking to himself, man, performance coaches, yeah. Some young kids that think I'm really cool, that will put me on their job applications and tweet about how I help their careers. Oh, yeah, I get to hire more of them. Fuck yeah, I'm in, buddy. That's what he's all excited for.
Before we go on, the other thing that I want to point out is it's almost like a tease where he's like, oh, we'll just have to wait and see what opportunities can arise. I can't wait to find out what opportunities there are. What trade talks will we have that result in nothing? And what contracts will we offer that will get rejected?
Right. It's exciting. It's like Christmas morning. How many more Horowitzes will we get under the baseball tree?
Hopefully 8. We need 8 more Horowitzes. He's the only guy who hit this year.
Even that. God bless Spencer Horwitz. this is, if I meet them, like one day I will meet one of these players and embarrassingly tell them I have a show, and then they'll laugh and they'll say, really? And then maybe they'll check it out and they'll go, oh my God, this guy's nuts. I mean, yeah, Spencer Horwitz had a real, he had a WRC plus of 119. It's below where it was last year, but okay, great. That's good. We like 119 WRC pluses. That's 19% above league average for those,
Yeah, you need like 5 or 6
good.
of those guys to be a decent offense.
Right. 1.7 wins above replacement. These are good things. I like that. That's a good thing. But this is not. Travis Williams thinks they're going to just trade away all their pitching and get all these guys. Well, what happens when you trade away your pitching, Travis? Then you don't have pitching. Then you have a problem in the opposite effect. That is right. I've lived through Pirates teams that look exactly like that, where they could hit the lick out of the ball and couldn't pitch for shit. And they lost 100 games too. They lost 91 games too.
Oh yeah. Let's keep going.
And we got to continue to improve the way we prepare for games and the strategy around that. And we got to all be totally committed to, the game on the field that night being the most important thing. There can't be an ounce of energy going towards anything else but how do we win this game tonight? So I think it's all that. We have to commit to it. We have to do it. We'll get into the details of exactly what acquisition strategy we have this offseason, but we will improve the roster, and confident we can do that on the position player side.
You take this one. I have thoughts. You take it.
Again, this is the exact same spiel that we get every Monday after the season ends, and he's just saying a bunch of nothing.
He's saying exactly what he says on his team-produced radio show. It's exactly the same. Every day I wake up, we have to get better. We have to get better every day. I wake up to get better every day because tomorrow we have to be better when I wake up to be better every day with urgency. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could. The only tell that's in this little quote to me, the only tell that's in there is when he says we have to win every game in Pittsburgh and not put any energy anywhere else or something of that nature. I'm not going to ask you to rewind it, but that's a little bit of a tell for me because in my mind, this is just me. There was reporting where Shelton was, has talked to reporters now in the postmortems that they all do, where everyone's airing their dirty laundry. And Shelton was like frustrated earlier this season about how there wasn't a lot of options to bring guys up and down when they needed like to play matchups, or they just needed like a AAA hitter who is like a quad A type of player that could actually contribute something for a week, right? And it's frustrating when you just run out the same losers every day, and they're not going to unlose themselves because they're all losers. And that's a tell on Cherington where he wasn't focused on that stuff. He wasn't focused on depth. He wasn't focused on having, a deeper roster like Huntington had, where you could call up whoever and get a spot start, but for the hitting side. And so I think that's kind of an indication that, they were like fucking around with their intensity about winning major league games. That's just my read there. What do you take away from that?
There's a little bit of that. I think, I don't know. I'm with him getting to come back for a 7th year. And there was reporting earlier in the week in The Athletic that we finally know the term of his contract, that he's signed through 2027. He's got 2 more years on his contract. Now, that doesn't mean that he gets to serve them out. Oftentimes when these team executives and managers and stuff, like that last year is their severance.
They're going to serve.
Right?
Just stop. They'll serve. And let's stop gaslighting ourselves. They're going to do the stupidest thing. Let's
they fired Shelton with a year left on his. I'm just saying that, like, we finally learned what the actual term of his contract was. And so I don't get any sense from this that he feels any warmth under his butt. I don't think there is whatever kind of pressure that Shelton was clearly feeling at the beginning of the season, where he was like, kind of like you could sense the stress was there. I don't see any stress here. I see a guy who just got told, whatever, man, just go do it again, and maybe this time it'll work.
Well, keep playing because he kind of addresses that in a minute here.
Is the continuity for you, given that you're back, that Donnie's back, that you guys?
I think it's a bonus. It's not a reason. This is a manager's too important a role for that to be driving a decision. It's a bonus, but what's driving the decision were all the things we talked about. The combination of the credibility, the trust he has in the clubhouse and the organization, his tenacity, his extreme will to win, willingness to do everything possible to do that. There's a lot more that there's a lot that goes into him being the right person for the job. It's an added bonus that there's continuity because it just helps us hit the ground running really fast.
Ben, what do you
Well, we've got a lot of continuity because nobody ever has to go pound the pavement and look for a new job. Great continuity.
It's just stupid. It's just loser continuity. You asked me about losing energy. You try to, we had a back and forth this season on season 1 of the OG and Crap Show. You didn't believe this is it. I did a bad job of articulating it because it wasn't something I could put in front of you to say, this is it. This is all of this whole season, these words, all of this. This is why they can't just snap out of it, because players see this. It percolates everywhere. IKF comes here and goes, shit, this is a really lame, bad, dumb organization. Then he goes back to the Blue Jays and he tells some players, hey, you don't want to play there. They fucking suck, dude. They're stupid. They don't know what they're doing. Like, all of that matters. All of it matters. And you can't just undo it. So now we have a bunch of continuity, in the wrong ways. I don't know what he's trying to say here, quite frankly. I guess he's just saying a bunch of words to get this next question, out of the way. But, continuity, okay.
Well, and the continuity, that goes back to the last time Bob actually did speak, and that was when Shelton was dismissed. And he said that he thought that it was, I'm paraphrasing, he thought that it was more important to keep things together for the sake of stability. And what it does instead is it signals to everybody else in the organization that nothing matters. And it was
That's
shortly
how the
after
players
that
feel.
that everybody just kind of gave up, and it's terrible. And so now we're taking that same concept of let's value imagined stability over quality, and let's just keep doing the same thing that has caused us to be bad for a decade. More than a decade. I mean,
I wish I could go back to a decade.
2015 is now more than a decade ago.
Yeah. God, I wish I could go back in time, because at least that was something. This is nothing. This is truly a hodgepodge of nothingness. They weren't wrong when they were making fun of us. They were dead on.
I think you've learned that will maybe be different in roster building for this coming year?
Yeah, I think that first of all, we continue to learn, and I really do think are getting clear on the types of traits in hitters that we're making a bet on. In Pittsburgh, we need to be making bets on guys who are not proven. We may be able to make some bets on guys that are proven, and we'll pursue that too, but some of the targets have to be guys who are unproven, and I believe we're getting more clear all the time on what the combination of traits are that we should be making the best bet on.
So far, they've been betting on guys who can't hit the baseball. That hasn't worked.
There's some interesting stuff there, though. I think what he's saying is that I finally hired some people that can help me identify traits that are that portend future success in unproven hitters. And as a result, when we make this next trade, this is what I think he's saying, so stay with me. Mm-hmm. When I trade the next David Bednar, whether it's O'Neill Cruz or whether it's Brian Reynolds, you should not expect, I don't know, name a super young, awesome player, Kobe Mayo or, some Kirsten or Heston Kierstad.
You're naming terrible young players.
Whatever. But the kind of industry consensus that these guys, he's saying you should expect more Rafael Flores's. You should expect more those guys that we'll be trading our established veterans for, because we don't even have the wherewithal to get more Spencer Horwitzes because those prices are insane. So you're going to expect more Floreses and I can't even think in Evan Sisks or whatever, but on the hitting side, because now we finally, after 7 years, cracked the code of how to identify the swing paths that we like. That's what he's saying. That's what I think he's saying.
I think you're right. And that's scary because what makes them think that all of the other clubs don't already know that stuff and don't know how to sell them on whatever they need to be sold on to give them Braxton Ashcraft for somebody we never heard of, but we're just so confident that he's going to be the next breakout star that nobody ever heard of. And
I mean, that's exactly
it's going to be a lot. It's going to be more
exactly
Rafael Flores's than it's going to be Spencer Horwitz's. Like the Spencer Horwitz's are really hard to find.
They are, and they're hard to get. And the only reason they got that is because that Spencer went through the Guardians, who are equally piratesy in their mentality. And so another organization might have been like, this is our starting first baseman because we're going to allocate, we're gonna put, if this was I'm just making up, like we're gonna play him at first base for the Mets and then allocate Pete Alonso's money somewhere on a pitcher, right? That's what a normal organization might have done in that trade. But we got Spencer Horwitz because the Guardians are always looking for value, so it was a good matchup. That's not always going to happen. So I think him getting a second bite at the apple at the trade deadline, we saw exactly what they prioritized at the trade deadline. That to me is the blueprint for whatever metaphorical roster reshaping trade that Travis Williams and they're going to make, which I don't believe will actually really take shape, but that's what it's going to look like if it does. And be prepared, dear listener, to be absolutely not whelmed, but underwhelmed. It's going to be bad.
And the big issue, like I don't disagree with what he said, where he pointed out that in order for them to get the most value out of this stuff, they need to find unproven guys. They need to identify guys before they're good and spirit them away from the places that have their rights. That's all true. But when you make those trades, you're not making those trades for guys like those guys are definitionally not major leaguers yet. They can't be, or we would know about them and they wouldn't be these unknowns that are unproven. They would be proven. So by definition, he's saying the guys that they're going to be able to get in trade, they're going to be guys at most in AAA, like Rafael Flores. And I mean, there's a little bit of pop in the bat, and he made that cool throw the other day.
I'm not even going to make a statement about Rod. He doesn't exist. He's not even real yet. We'll see next year at this time, and going into 2027, we'll do a whole show about 1 year of Rafael Flores. We'll know right away. So whatever
guys they're getting in trades, they're getting guys who are far away from contributing at the major league level. By definition, that's what he's saying.
Yes. That's exactly what he's saying. And I, Crab, and OG, I think we are learned men, to quote the wise OG. I think we're smart enough to understand this. And I have tweaked my emotional barometer thusly so that I'm not mad, because now I live under the Cherington regime and I will accept our dear leader's recommendation because he shall. Oh, I am just happy he's serving the fans, and I'm happy they think of me every day, and just, praise be to Ben Cherington. However, the rest of the fan base is setting themselves up for massive disappointment on every corner of Western Pennsylvania and the internet. But he's telling you right now, expect more Floreses. We trade Brian Reynolds, we're going to get 20 Floreses and 15 Evan Sisks or whatever we get, right? We're getting Callan Mosses. We're getting more of these Sammy Stafura. Yeah, more of those.
I'm
And
not
it's
going to knock
pathetic.
the Sammy Stafora trade because getting anything back for Cabrian Hayes, I think
I'm knocking it. I'm knocking it
I'm
because
not. That's a good trade.
It's not a good trade because they could have made that trade last year. In my mind, nothing changed from October of 2024 to October 2025.
Oh, sure it
they
did.
knew he
Hayes.
could,
Oh no,
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 it
no, no,
didn't.
no. Yeah, Hayes.
He
Hayes
couldn't hit
was
then. He couldn't
completely
hit
broken.
then.
No, he couldn't. He can't hit ever. But at the end of 2024, Hayes was on the IL. He had the bad back. It looked like is this guy ever going to play a full season again? And then what did he do? He came out this season. He played a full season. He was almost never on the
It's a big
IL
deal.
this season. That matters.
The Reds
though.
last year.
You're not
doesn't.
trading
It
him when he's
doesn't.
on the IL.
Fine, take that out of the equation. My point is that they just told us. We just dissected their own words. We have to be more aggressive. Last year they weren't aggressive. But you know why? Because when they put someone like Hayes on the market, the Reds said we'll give you our 15th prospect. And they're like, no, we want 5. We want guy 5. Get out of here. Would it have mattered to get the 15th prospect from that organization or the 5th or 8th? It doesn't matter.
At this
because
point,
these guys
I'm glad they got rid of Hayes. I'm glad that he
That's
is
not the point I'm making.
like,
That's not the debate
holding
point I'm
down
making. It's
third
not about
anymore.
Hayes. It's not about Hayes. But like, so if Triolo was good enough to play this season and it's getting better, all those internal improvements, because he's a guy that did internally improve, then why couldn't he just have played all 2020 through 2025? You could have gotten any asset for Hayes and then reallocated that payroll and then not wasted a year of Paul Skeens. But they wasted a whole freaking year of him, and they could have done something with that payroll, and they didn't. Because they're not aggressive enough, because they're still figuring it out, because we don't know what to do.
Oh, though that's all true. Yeah, I'm just saying that I'm not gonna have a problem with whatever they got back for trading Hayes.
Fine. No, they could have gotten a bag
I'm
of
just glad
balls
that they
back
got
for
Hayes out.
Yes.
Like whatever came back. Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
In terms of acquisition, that's what I would say. And then I think the other part of the roster angle of it anyway is that I really believe we can do a better job building a total roster that is just more functional and provides Donnie more opportunities. I think there were some times this season, not intentionally, but sometimes this season we got into patches where we just didn't have enough options to create good matchups.
Oh my God, he's talking about matchups.
No, but this is I don't know, man. He must feel something with that new job security because he's letting it rip. This is the most we're getting out of this robot. He's basically saying, like, I had to call up Nick Solak this year because my options were Nick Solak or Ji-Wan Bae. And that's a joke. We shouldn't have been in that position, but we were because I'm bad at my job. That's what he's saying. And so how do you expect Donnie to win with that? What's he supposed to do?
That's crazy. What? I don't even know how to respond to that statement. That's just, I'm speechless.
When he's talking about
dumb.
matchups, he's talking about the fact that, we don't have guys that can hit. There's nobody below them that are pushing on the door. It's what you and I talked about, like,
well, yeah, but like matchups, like it doesn't matter who you run out there to, whether they're going to be right on right or right on left or left on right or left on left. None of them can hit. It doesn't matter. Like matchups. Oh, like as if the reason that they weren't any good this year was because they didn't have the right platoon. Give me a break.
I think he thinks that, and I also think it's a depth issue. He's touching on the fact that there's no depth. There's no one pushing the door down to get up here. There's no options. They could call. So what are you going to do? Call his?
Right. Let's keep going.
Up and down the lineup, we didn't have enough depth so you looked at the lineup 1 through 9 and felt good about the matchups to start the game, and also felt good that if we had to switch out during the game at some point, we had those matchups too. There were stretches where we just didn't have enough of that. So combination of the quality of the players, certainly we will add to the roster, but also the functionality of the roster itself. I think both of those things are things we need to attack. And then again, some of it has to happen through internal improvement.
He's talking about matchups when the entire lineup can't hit. None of these guys were hitting all year long. None of them. The ones that were supposed to be good were bad, and the ones that we had no expectations of were also bad or worse.
Except for Jared Triolo, who might be the only unsung hero in this season. But yes, you're absolutely correct. And all those analysts that they paid for, those 50 game analysts that go on every road trip, they can't tell them that. Hey, yo, boss, nobody can hit.
Like, this isn't a matter of like having the right scouting report or like picking the right matchup. They don't have enough talent. And I mean, talk about missing the forest for the trees. This is just like completely out to lunch.
Yeah, he's in that. There's nothing else I can say about him. I mean, we just have to get through this. I feel like I just have to grit my teeth with this last year of Cherington, because he will be a lame duck. The year after that, he's probably gone at that point, I would think, if nothing really substantially changes. The lockout's coming. We just have to grit our teeth. This year there's nothing to look forward. This year is a lost year. This is the same team from 23 that it was in 24, that it was in 25, and it will be in 26. And it's not going to change. So we just have to grit it and bear it.
I think that's the end. I'm gonna get him off of there.
Wait, there's way more. There's way more. There's 7 more minutes.
You're right. Yeah, I'm gonna bring him back.
Jesus, we need to shut up.
Hey, here we go.
And what do you kind of feel like you can do personally better to help put this team in a better position for 2026?
Well, I think about that all the time. I think some of it is what we just talked about, just continuing to learn from what we have done, from his decisions, the ones that have worked well, the ones that haven't. How do we continue to be more excellent in everything we do? Select better players.
More excellent.
Like,
more excellent,
dude.
More.
It's like surfing.
More excellent.
More excellent.
We're already excellent. We're totally excellent. We got to be more excellent.
Cowabunga, bro. More excellent, dude.
Oh God, more excellent. How excellent were you?
Create.
I mean, pretty excellent.
Choose the right resources, the right tools, etc. Deliver those to players. Some of it's that. I think certainly in my head, it's just an overwhelming amount of urgency and focus on the major league team. And again, it gets back to like keeping the team on the field and the game that night the most important thing. I strongly believe in my ability to do that.
I don't.
I mean, I strongly believe in my ability to date supermodels, and I wake up every day with urgency and how to get better at dating supermodels and making sweet romantic love to supermodels and traveling the world. I mean, I straight wake up every day trying to do that. I strongly believe in my ability to do that, OG, and I'm just glad to be able to serve the supermodels every day. And I don't know, we just got to get the right tools so that I can date more supermodels. I mean, what is this? What does it even mean? He's
talking about getting. This is the same crap we heard last year when they hired Matt Haig. Haig was supposed to be, Andy Haynes couldn't distill all of this great analytics information into a form that the players could understand. So we had to fire him. We'll bring in Matt Haig. Haig is the hitter whisperer. He's going to be able to take all of our complicated data and turn it into actionable stuff for our hitter. And now he's talking about the exact same thing again. It's like we have all this great analytics that I spent so much money on, but nobody understands any of it because we forgot to translate it into human.
Or counterpoint, they can't hit. Sure, I understand. See ball, hit ball. I got it, boss. This is Jack Sawinski. So don't look into the sun. Jack, don't look into the sun. Got it. Okay, cool. Is that in the iPad? Yeah, it's on the iPad. So like when you open the iPad, it says don't look into the sun. Jack's like, okay, cool. He's like taking a note. And it's like the next thing slide on the iPad. It's like, Jack, when you see the ball swing. Jack's like, oh shit, yeah. Wow, cool. And Gene Lamont's like, hey son, you just got to swing at the ball. It's like, that's what they're doing. This isn't rocket. This isn't quantum physics. We're not learning, I don't know what to say. Like, it's easy. They just cannot hit. They cannot hit. No amount of tools and traject machines and iPads and research and development will suddenly make Jack Sawinski hit or Canario hit or insert loser name here hit. It's just not going to happen. And this is just more of the same. Keep playing. He gets dumber.
We got to go do it and execute.
It seems like there's a lot of general fan pressure on some sort of changes to be made. some people are and by bringing back the same manager, bringing back the same general manager, some fans are going to be disappointed by that. What gives you the confidence that even with that continuity, you guys can make some changes to bring better baseball to Pittsburgh in 2026?
Well, first of all, we got to deliver better to our fans. That's very clear. It's in my mind all the time. I want to do that. Totally hear the frustration, and bottom line, we just got to deliver. That's our expectation to do that. I don't believe that. Continuity in certain positions reflects a lack of change. Our jobs are to change all the time. Our jobs are to find an opportunity tomorrow to change if we need to get better. So there's change is constant. It's happening throughout baseball operation, throughout our clubhouse all the time. We're talking all the time, even now, about, who are the people that can support our players, that can work most effectively with our players? What are the tools? How do we improve the tools that we're delivering, the information or the tools we're delivering to our staff or our players, so that we're in a better position to improve or make good decisions? How do we continue to improve the culture? How do we build a culture in that room that, again, the only energy is going towards the game that night and winning the game that night? So change can happen in a lot of different ways and will happen, even if certain individuals are constants.
Ben, you mentioned urgency with that. Is there?
Real quick, that's a dumbass answer. And the question was about, do you hear the fan anger or whatever? And he just talks about delivering tools and stuff that nobody cares about, because we don't care about any of that. But the one thing that's interesting is that he made a comment about the energy in the room. I think he's referring to the clubhouse, right? And that they have to stay focused on winning the game that night. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Ben, but this group isn't suddenly going to be like, oh shit, you're right. We wasted a whole year not focusing. It was just as simple as focus. It's on Jack's iPad. Hey, Jack, slide 3, focus. Jack's like, oh, real? Oh, wow. Thank you for delivering those tools to me so I just didn't think to focus. Great, guys, hit the ball, focus, don't look at the sun. Got it. He hits 30 home runs. That ain't happening. So, again, we don't care about any of that stuff.
That was some serious verbal diarrhea right there.
That was
every talking point just strung together and then looped.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, he's just like Chat GPT or some knockoff. He's like one of these AI people you talk to or whatever now. It's just ridiculous. That's what you're getting. He's like AI GM.
More of a willingness to be more aggressive, whether it's multi-year free agent contracts, willingness to trade top prospects, etc.
Yeah, I think we got to be ready to be aggressive in acquisition this offseason, whether it's free agency or trade. In our situation, we've got to be willing to assume the risk of trades, because free agency is not an open ocean for us. We're going to be able to be targeted there, and we will be.
Important comment. Free agency is not an open ocean for us. Translation: we're not going to get any good free agents. We don't have the money.
That's exactly what he's saying. He couldn't be more crystal clear. You need to save that quote and get it Control V'd on your computer to be deployed anywhere you need it to on the internet, because that's as close as you're ever going to hear somebody from the Pittsburgh Pirates front office tell you that they're not doing it. They don't have the money. Stop asking me. It's not happening. That's it. And coupled with that is another double down on, you wanted more Rafael Floreses, I hear? Because you're getting some more Rafael Floreses. Because that's what he's saying. They're going to be willing to trade top prospects for more unproven stuff, because they can't get a lot. Assume the risk. That's exactly what assume the risk means. It doesn't mean we're trading Luis Ortiz for Spencer Horwitz. We got to be, assume the risk and trade big, whether it's Brian Reynolds or Bubba Chandler or whatever, or O'Neal Cruz, and get stuff that can come up here and grow with this team that we now think we can make better bets on. That's what he's saying. And we're not going to free agency because we don't have money.
And you know what?
Clear.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Because
but I don't want to hear it out of him. If this was year one, I could accept that. Not in year 7.
we'll try to be. We'll put ourselves in a position to do that the best we possibly can. But if we want to give ourselves every chance, it's got to be the trade market also, and we got to be prepared to chase down every single thing that we think has a chance to help this team win more games in 26. Execute on the ones that we can get to, and just be dogged about it all offseason.
And Bob Nutting said in his statement of Donnie's extension that this year wasn't acceptable and it needs to be better. Has he given you the assurances that you will receive additional resources to improve next year's roster?
We've got the resources to win. We just got to execute. My conversations with Bob recently have been every combination of challenging, productive, difficult at times. I leave every one of them more clear on how we're both seeing this and what's important and how we're going to go about executing. I believe that, and we just got to go do it.
They just got to execute. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, what does that mean? Is that a tacit admission that, like, hey, we had some really good trades on the table and we fucked around and they went elsewhere? Because that's how I read it. We had a multi-year offer on a dude and he wanted $5 million more and we pussied out, because that's how I read it. Because he's saying we haven't executed, meaning we have the resources. Stop asking me. We are super great. We are very more excellent. Okay, you dumbass. We have it. We just haven't executed. God, it took us 6 years to define the word execute. We're in year 7. We got the definition. We're executing, baby. We're going to execute this whole team. Are you in favor of executions? Yes, I am. I'm in favor of executing the entire front office. But like, he's just figuring out, like, hey, Bob told me in year 7 I should be like doing my job. I had no idea. I thought I was a servant, just like a high priestess of baseball, just effeminately and ethereally, just like floating around PNC Park, just like kind of just vibing. I'm just a vibe. I did a drum circle one day. I take the boys out for beer. We talk about swing decisions. I didn't know how to do things while I was working here. So you just got to execute, OG. It's really simple. We're stupid.
Execute.
We don't understand. We just got to execute. Come on, man.
We got everything we need. Just got to execute.
We got everything we need. Yeah.
What's the challenge of operating an organization, baseball operations-wise, and under those restraints? Whether resources are limited for free agency or what have you.
It's the opportunity we're given, right? Like, we want to be part of delivering to our fans. The simplest way to do that, the best way to do that, the quickest way to do that is win more baseball games. So that we're playing, last week, fighting for October, not trying to kick somebody out. So that's the opportunity. We relish that opportunity. There's challenges everywhere. That's what you sign up for. We just got to get it done.
Anything?
I mean,
no, that's the question. It's the same question again.
It's the same question they've been asking a Pirates owner since Bing Crosby owned the team. Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to the payroll thing? It's the payroll. Pittsburgh they're just obsessed with this payroll thing, and I don't blame them. At this point, maybe I am too. At this point, I don't know. Maybe I've been just like maybe I'm in the cult now. I don't know. Payroll, man. But like, he's basically telling you through his body language and his choice of words, it ain't happening. It is what it is. And I got to figure out how to do it better, because I thought I was here to like build systems and do analytics. And like, we didn't think we were supposed to win anything because that wasn't really what our mandate was. But now, fuck, I got to like win all of a sudden because like I'm like the guy that builds. I'm a builder. I'm not Billy Bean. I'm not Dave Dombrowski. I'm not, Trader Jerry DePoto. I'm Ben Cherington. I'm just like this guy that like hang out with Theo Epstein somewhat.
Unfortunately, all the high risk trades that you made back in 2020 and 2021 yielded Leo Verpagero and
Will Crow, Roansy Contreras,
Kanan Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, I mean, but they didn't know how to execute that, OG. Come on. I mean, they have resources, and they now they wake up every day now they know what to do, right? Come on. They said the words.
Wakes up every day.
Go buy a ticket and get your ass down there and buy a $45 beer. so you can subsidize this fucking dude's yacht.
How does the strength of the pitching staff you have right now give you the confidence that, if we add a little bit here, we'll be right there?
Yeah,
next year?
I think it gives us an opportunity. It's a strong foundation, and we're not satisfied. We had a good pitching season, overall effective pitching season. We can be better, and we're just as focused on that, candidly, as the offensive side, because wins come from everywhere, and we can't take for granted that this part of the team is okay, and we'll just focus over.
Hold on, I just got a quip here. Wins come from everywhere. They come from Chicago and Milwaukee, and sometimes they come from Cincinnati and Cleveland. Wins come from everywhere. Sometimes wins come from New York, but not Queens. Sometimes wins come from Philly. Wins can come from Los Angeles or Seattle,
but not Orange County.
Right.
And not the south side of Chicago.
Wins,
certainly
wins
not
can
the
come
Rocky
from
Mountains.
exactly. Wins can come from all kinds of places. They can come
Not
from anywhere.
Steel City. Can't
but
come
not
from
Pittsburgh.
here. Never saw a win in my life.
Here.
Yeah.
We've got the pitching talent in the organization, I believe, to have a chance to be really good. There may be opportunities to add to that this offseason. So it's a good foundation, but we're not satisfied with it. We got to push it higher.
Then there was John Heyman had something out 10 days before the season ended about it's more likely that the team tries to extend Paul rather than move on from him. He's probably going to win a Cy Young here in a month or so. I mean, where's the team stand on maybe his long-term future with the club?
Well, it's obvious that on and off the field, he is someone that we would want to have for as long as possible. Obviously, I think every team would say that. He exemplifies, just in my experience with him, he lives he walks the walk in every possible way, and we need. Not every player will do it quite like at the level he does, but we certainly need even more of that mindset, and just approach toward his craft, approach towards winning, on top of the stuff he does off the field. So he's clearly someone that is at the center of our thoughts a lot. He wants to win really badly too. I expect that at some point, every year you talk about contract with everybody, so that's going to come for us at some point anyway. And of course, he's someone we'd love to have here for a long time.
Allow me to help out. Allow me to help out our intrepid reporter there. Paul Skeens is not going to be a Pittsburgh Pirate 2 years from now. He's
That's
just not.
The answer, yes. He's a future Met.
He's a future Dodger, future Yankee. Pick your top six market that can afford to give him a $400 or $500 million contract, whatever it winds up being. And maybe he'll stop somewhere in between, like Eric Cole did in Houston, whoever the better trade partner is. Paul Skeens will not be a Pittsburgh Pirate 2 years from today. Mark my words, he will not be a Pittsburgh Pirate following the 2027 season under any circumstances. It will not happen.
Can I interject here and add to that for a minute before we finish up the segment? Yeah. You know me and my pronouncements about trading Paul Skeens, right? The first day you met me, you were like, what's this fucking guy? Is he like serious? And I was, and still am, because Skeens has like kind of unintentionally invoked this sense in me where it's like him just being on the team is screaming out that it does not matter one bit if the Pirates get a franchise player or some kind of generational talent. It does not matter. Because it not only will it not move the needle because this is baseball, but the owner can't do anything, doesn't care. And Skeens and players like him have always been the kinds of players that were talked about by Greg Brown and, Frank Coonelly and, whoever, Ted Sawyer, all these people before him about like how eventually we'll get somebody that's so unquestionably great that, we'll build around the team then, guys. Just wait. We don't have that player yet. And for a while, it was the McCutcheon stuff, and we thought, okay, well, this is the guy. They're going to build around him, and they kind of did. They did the best of their ability to kind of capitalize on those years, and God love Neil Huntington for trying. He certainly did a better job than this fucking moron. But now they're showing, without a shadow of a doubt, that there is no shame, and they have zero relationship with the city as a result, because they know he isn't going to stay here. And now it's bore out for everybody, from Jeff Passan, from Rob Manfred, Jeff Passan on down to the usher at PNC Park and grandma who still buys a season ticket plan, that they can't. It doesn't matter if they get Paul Skeens. It doesn't matter if the ghost of Roberto Clemente comes back. It won't make a difference, because they can't do anything with that player anyway. And it's embarrassing and it's sad. And that's kind of why it just exposes their con artistry to me even more. Rant over.
You mentioned on your radio show yesterday that the players during their exit interviews really kind of stood up for Donnie. How much did that, if at all, influence the decision, or was it already made?
I think we were pretty far along, but not in the end zone, as Donnie said. We didn't really get to clarity until really recently, and it was helpful. It was not surprising. I think what I took from the exit meetings, again, more than anything, was just the freedom with which players, it seemed like they were willing to share and talk. And some of it was really positive, and some of it was critical feedback in some areas, and that's the reason for the meetings. So I think the sort of freedom with which they were willing to talk was what I was getting in terms of how their perception of Donnie, more than any specific thing they said about Donnie.
Received assurances that you will be back for next season.
That's over.
That's it.
Sorry
Yeah,
we talked our way
around.
through it, but there's a lot to unpack there, OG.
Is there? I mean, this team is going to be the exact same thing that it was this year, next year. We're going to get some, scraping the bottom of the barrel. They couldn't find another job, free agents, if they get any at all. And that's not a matter of not wanting to, or like nobody wants to play in Pittsburgh. Like, there might be some of that. Like, this is clearly a loser organization with a bad reputation around baseball. But if you
The players are making fun of it right now.
They are.
Yeah,
but
it's
if
in
you
the media
offer
that
them
they're
money,
laughing at it.
if you offer them money, enough of it, they'll come. The problem is, enough money is more money than they have budgeted. Like, if you want a good baseball player in free agency right now, one good baseball player is 30, 35, $40 million a year for one. If you want to go get Kyle Tucker, if you want to go get the best free agent on the market this winter, he costs $40 million a year or more. That's what he's going to make. And he's not making it for 1 or 2 years. He's going to make that for like 7 or 8 or more.
With opt-outs.
Right. So the idea that the Pirates can get an impact bat in free agency, it will not happen. There are no impact bats that the Pirates can afford. And that's not a choice of this greedy billionaire. It's just, that's the reality of this market. The revenues of this team do not support buying impact bats in free agency. It will not happen. They're not going to allocate a third or a half of their payroll to one bat. And even if they did,
maybe Bob should spend money to make money
and play with 3 or 4 other guys just like him. They want to go and be surrounded by other MVP candidates. They don't want to go and be the nicest house in the neighborhood by far. They want to go and be surrounded by other really good ball players. They don't want to. That's why they don't want to come here, because they know that they'll be the only one and that they'll just be stuck. So yeah, of course not. That's why you're not going to get Kyle Schwarber. You're not going to get Kyle Tucker. You're not going to get Bo Bichette. I can't think of any other actual good free agents that will be on the market. Everybody else is as much of a crapshoot as cross your fingers and hope O'Neal Cruz has a good year instead. Cross your fingers and hope that Brian Reynolds isn't falling off the aging cliff and comes back and gives us a 3-war season again. You might as well do that if you're looking at like Mike Yastrzemski and thinking that he's going to come and give you a 3-war season for whatever it is, like $8, $9, $12 million, whatever he winds up making as a 6-year-old free agent outfielder. He's a solid player. He's a good player. I wanted the Pirates to trade for him last year. I thought he'd be a savvy pickup for, get a guy in his walk year. Good value in a trade. But as a free agent, you're not going to get much out of him. Look at the free agent class from last year. All the guys everybody wanted, they were terrible. Santander, O'Neill, Conforto, Profar was suspended for half the year. It's a total crapshoot. Once you're underneath that $30 million a year, it's a total crapshoot what you're going to get. So no, they're not going to get an impact bat in free agency. And I know you know that, but I need everybody listening to know that.
I was told that if Bob would just spend money, he would make money. So, take that, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah. Spend money to make money. Sure. Baseball town.
Yeah. We're getting to the, I don't know, maybe this pod dies this season because I'm not sure there's much to say about this team right now.
We're an hour and almost an hour and a half into this one, and we still haven't really talked about the Hiles articles. Maybe that needs to be a whole other show.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it tomorrow or something.
Record
and
another
get that
one.
done. But like, the only other thing to talk about very quickly, we don't have to play the video, but is Kelly, right? Now, I watched Kelly's presser. Did you watch Kelly's presser?
I did not.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
It was fine. It was quick and to the point. Again, Don Kelly to me is fine.
Yeah.
He's fine.
He's fine. You asked me back in the summer when he was given the helm, what do I think of him? It was like, I'll tell you in October. Well, October is this week and he's fine. It's whatever. Like, they extended him. Do we even know for how long or just extended him? Extended him could mean he's employed next year. Like he got a 1-year extension. Did they say?
I think they, you know what? I was so angry. I didn't pay attention to that part.
It doesn't matter.
So busy
He's fine.
Rage.
He's a perfectly truculent major league manager. He made a bunch of rookie mistakes. I disagreed with some things that he did. I don't think he's going to be the reason they're terrible. And he's not going to magically make them good. He's a manager. Whatever.
He did do a lot of Pirates Pittsburgh talk, which is clearly part of why he has this job.
He's good for marketing.
Is he though? I don't know if that's even the case, but they
Maybe
think
not.
it. They think
know.
so.
They think he's good for marketing.
So I'm going to read to you some. I'm going to play a game with you and we'll end the show after this. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to read a quote. One is a real quote. One is a fake quote. I want you to pick the real quote.
These are Don Kelly quotes, real and fake?
These are 2 Don Kelly quotes.
Okay.
This is in regards to being driven by his Pittsburgh fandom and understanding the feelings of Pirates fans.
He's laying out his Yinzer bona fides.
Correct. Listen, this is Pittsburgh. We've got 3 rivers and a ball club that hasn't forgotten 1992. That's the chip on our shoulder every time we take the field. I grew up in Mount Lebanon. I know what it means to ride the incline, grab a chipped ham sandwich, and clock in. Whether, I studied down at Point Park or you're just tailgating in the North Shore, black and gold runs pretty deep. It's about fries on everything, Donnie Iris on the radio when you cross the 4-pit tunnel and see the skyline. That's Pittsburgh baseball. That's who we are. Second quote, they're passionate. They're relentless. It's going to be on both sides. I know that we're winning here. When we're winning here in Pittsburgh, the fans are going to be there. We also hear it whenever they're not doing the things that we need to do, and that's what drives me. That's what drives us every single day to be the best version of ourselves, to be the best version out on the field, and to work tirelessly towards bringing winning baseball back to Pittsburgh, and that's what we are going to do.
The first one was just way too pandery and corny to be real. The second one sounds way more like something that was coached and prepared in a committee, which is very on brand for the Pirates. So I'm going to say the first one was fake. The second one was real.
You'd be right. I wrote the first one and I tried to dial it back and I couldn't do it.
No. When you got into the chipped ham and fries on everything, it really gave it away.
Yeah, it did. But what's funny about this press conference is that he did, I'm looking at the transcript right now, and he did a thing about 1992. He talked about 1992. He went into a whole spiel about I watched 92 and I know what it's like to see my heart getting ripped out. And when I was with the Astros, there was a guy on the team who was, on the Braves, and I told him, you ripped my heart out. Like, he did a whole bit that really wasn't far from the ham sandwich Donnie Iris talk. I mean, it was, I was in the chat doing he referenced 2 Jim Leland's, 3 Point Park colleges, 2 Mount Lebanon's. He did. I mean,
playing the hits.
He played the hits. I mean, it was tough to yeah.
He's fine. He can be the manager.
Okay.
I have no problem with it.
He's just
I have a problem with his bosses. I don't have a problem with him.
I have a problem with his bosses. I have a problem with the fact that the last couple times I heard him talk, he started sounding more like Williams and Cherington, which I think is a byproduct of them touching Bob. And so the Bob is touching Donnie now fully. And so when I hear things like, I'm going to do my best Don Kelly impression. Well, we just wake up every day just trying to get better. And, I said to the guys, we got to earn the respect, and we got to earn, the praise and be proud every day. And I just think we're doing a great job of communicating. That's what he talks like, right? And that to me was we're just talking in Charrington speak.
Is he absorbing the loser energy?
Yes.
Is it starting to soak in?
I mean, he was born here. He's touched the Pirates.
Well, he's been soaking in it in this organization for years and years. It's not like they hired him from the outside. Yeah.
Right. He had 6 years of touching loser energy, but now now that he's the guy, he just sounds like a loser, and I'm just kind of out on him already. So I just expect a lot of next year. There's going to be here's what I predict for next year's team. They're going to try to attempt to do a Cherington's chicken and beer Boston trade. This is his time. In Boston, for my going down the rabbit hole, I know that there was kind of a mandate at one point there, and he was told go do stuff, and that's what he did. I think this is going to be a kind of a time is a flat circle bit where he's going to attempt to do something like that. Instead of getting Adrian Gonzalez or trading Adrian Gonzalez and getting back all the players he got back that helped to underpin the 2013 Red Sox, he's going to go and do a Pirates version with a bunch of Rafael Flores's, some version of a new Jack Sawinski, a bunch of unproven guys. They're going to trade away pitching, and somebody's going to get hurt. Jones isn't going to come back till after the All-Star break. Somebody else goes down, then they're fucked, period. All those other dudes, let's say Ashcraft gets traded. Let's just say Ashcraft goes, and, then you have a bunch of Harrington hitting his innings limits, Barco, et cetera, young guys that aren't proven. So all that pitching depth, if Skeens bites the dust or if Chandler bites the dust, we're back at square one with the pitching shit. And we got, a Horowitz part 2 out of it, Electric Boogaloo. And I think, are you dying over there? You've been coughing all episode. Use your mute button.
I had COVID a few weeks ago, and the latent. Am I not muting it? I'm clicking a button that makes it look like I'm muting it. Is that coming through?
No, I heard your coughing ass the whole time. You're coughing in my goddamn ear.
I thought I was cutting it off. And
what are you, Bob Walk? This is like Greg Brown and Bob Walker. He's coughing on the
fall
telecast.
backwards in my chair next.
And Brownie's yelling at him. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think there will be no accountability. You're never going to see, somebody get benched for bad play. You're going to hear more like it's a teaching moment bullshit. And I think Cruz is what he is, and we're going to see more. Cruz is demoralized, and these guys are the guys that stay on that can't leave. They're going to be demoralized that nothing changed, and I just don't see this change happening. I think the high watermark of this team is probably 76 wins, and I expect it to be a 76 win team. In fact, Don Kelly's winning percentage, if you extrapolate it today, I don't have the number in front of me, but I did the math and I multiplied it over 162 games. It's 77. Mm-hmm. So all of this, wow, Don Kelly, wow, he did. It's a 77% winning clip.
Well, and that's because
it's 77 games.
Yeah, it's a 76, 77 win roster, and it's going to continue to be because they don't have that transformative offensive guy. They've got the transformative pitcher, but that's not enough. Clearly, that's not enough. You've got to have something that scores runs.
Yeah, and I fully expect that Bobby Witt Jr., Connor Griffin will be called up at some point next year and will struggle mightily. Mm-hmm. And
it'll be more. We'll get more of the rookie campaign of Jackson Holiday. Jackson Holiday was a very, very highly touted prospect, number one guy in all of baseball. He's so young. He flew through the minors. He came up, he struggled, he got sent back down, he came back up, he struggled some more, he started to get his feet under him. And this year, he's a solid player. He's not transformative. He's not leading the Orioles into the postseason, but he's good. That's probably what we should expect out of Connor Griffin, at least early on. Maybe someday he's this MVP candidate that we wish for, but he's not going to be next year. Almost certainly not.
Yeah, those are my predictions. I know it's early to do a prediction show one day after the season ended, but with all this running it back with the gang and all this year 7 stuff, I mean, I just don't see it, just like Derek Shelton couldn't flip a switch and declare it's time to win and then, win on the field. I just don't see Williams and Cherington declaring a trade. I declare a trade. I declare we'll get an impact bat. Like, that's what they're doing. And that's not reality. It's not how the world works. And these other general managers are laughing at them. They're not going to, they know exactly what when the Pirates come calling Jerry DiPoto or Kyle Bloom or something, and they're like, hey, we want to talk about like this guy in your system. They know exactly what leverage they have now, and more than they ever did. And so if Cherington is like playing with one hand behind his back, and so that's even another impediment. It's just a mess. It's a mess from top to bottom, all because Paul Skeens is here, and in their naked desperation to try to forge some connectivity to the city and show everybody that they care, they're just going to end up grinding him down into mediocrity, their years with him down into mediocrity, and he's going to leave, and nothing different will happen. His tenure here will end up looking, we'll look back at 2019 when Huntington left and be like, they were the same. It's the same thing. Nothing changed. We had a generational player and nothing changed.
Well, and unlike Kutch, who was extended and had a lengthier tenure here, Skeens is going to wind up being here for around about 4 years. That's it. Just a blip. His career will have a long tail on it, probably like 10 plus years, way off 12, 13, 14 more years after he leaves Pittsburgh. And it'll just be like a trivia question. Where did Paul Skeens start his career? Oh yeah, he was a pirate.
Well, OG, this is a depressing show.
Yeah.
And this is a depressing team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's time we find some other hobbies.
I don't know. I got a lot of things I'm obsessed about with baseball still.
Great.
All right.
Anything else to talk about?
Not tonight. So thanks everybody for hanging in there. And as always, please hit that subscribe, hit that like. You can get us on the audio feeds. The links are in the description if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening on the audio feeds and you want to see our pretty faces and Ben Cherington's weird expressions that I paused on during the video, you can hit the link in the podcast player of yours there and go watch the video.
Or don't like and subscribe, because there's no accountability on this podcast.
No accountability together.
I declare 100,000 viewers. It's time for viewers, okay? So therefore it must be so. Make it so.
Engage. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.